You can't be a good worker if you don't know the human body. That was always something that stood out to me when I would work with guys who didn't understand that. I think the key to a really great match is to tell the truth. When you got guys in there, taking an endless stream of bumps and sort of popping right up to hit another move thinking it will draw the audience in. Which isn't really the case, you know. I always took a lot of pride in making my matches seem real. I mean, if you go back and watch my matches you could see where it was building to. I made sure there was a bit of layers in there, and you'd see me attack a guy's knee or lower back. Because as a fan you'd know I was aiming to use the sharpshooter. My dad Stu used to say if they don't know the body, they don't know the finish, which is just sort of an old school shooter's way of saying your match finish should really consider the spots before it. It wasn't uncommon for me to have an anatomy textbook on the road with me. If I had a big match coming up, I'd review it, really studying the human body. I'd also consult with the medical trainer as well. That's why when they announced the Iron Man match with Sean, I watched a few Iron Man races beforehand to prepare. I really paid attention to the end of the race, when these guys were sort of hobbling their way to the finish line, you know. I remember being in the hotel room, taking notes. Davey asked if he could hang out with me because Owen wanted to call it an early night. Davey had never seen a triathlon before, was chowing down on a piece of pizza, cheering pretty wildly for any time they showed one of the racers was from Britain. I remember when the guys got on the bikes Davey got pretty heated. "What kind of Fukan race is this?" Davey wasn't much of a sports guy, though he liked people to think he was. I remember at one point he asked me, "So are you doing a spot with a bicycle spot with Sean?" I don't think Sean's much of a swimmer. Finally I just had to ask Davey to be quiet while I compiled my notes. The next show we got to the arena and I took my notes with me. I found a pretty quiet room and pulled Sean aside to show him my thoughts. I laid out all of my notes and explained that by about minute 35 Sean's knee should be bothering him. Sean sort of nodded, and thought it all seemed good. Then he started adding his spots in. The skin the cat, the top rope splash to the outside, all this pretty phony high-flying stuff, you know. I tried to explain the match needed to show we were both pretty tired, and it was taking its toll. Sean nodded again, then asked, "So when can I do my kip up?" I said, "Well, you don't, it's pretty late in the match." Sean chewed his gum pretty intensely, then rubbed his nose. "Well, I'll talk to Vin Man, and see what he says." Then a few hours later Vince came by and explained that to add to the realism they should maybe end with Sean outlasting the sharpshooter, and hitting me with 2 super kicks. To really sell how tough I was, but also to show how Sean should lead the new generation. I just knew from that point on that Vince was in Sean's pocket.